Hi Amy, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. So I just wanted to check in with you in the present before we get started and see how you're feeling. How are you doing?
Today, not so well.
Okay, not so well. So we need to talk about that. What's going on? You want to tell me a little bit more about it?
Well, my oldest daughter is getting married, and we are arranging all the venues, the venue, the photographer, the videographer, the chapel, all the things that go with a wedding. My daughter and I, we've been putting everything together. The date is going to be November 16th, 2019. Sounds far away, but fast approaching.
Well, yeah, that's a lot to get done.
Deposits are due. And her fiance's parents, I understand that it's the boy versus the girl wedding, but this is all on my husband and I.
The whole thing?
The entire thing. And then this morning I actually had to come clean, and my daughter is going, her and her fiance are going to pay for the videographer and a few other things. But I had reached out to his parents, and they are playing the card of they're just paying for the rehearsal dinner, which will consist of 12 people.
Oh, really? Because that was my next question. Have you reached out to his side, his parents, so they are paying for the dinner?
The rehearsal dinner.
And it consists of 12 people?
12 people.
Can you tell me more about the responsibility part?
Well, I don't think we're living in the 1800s anymore, where it's the boy, male versus female.
Right.
I mean, I get it. Like, my husband and I we already knew going in that we were gonna pay for the venue, but then there's the band, there's the flowers, there's the photographer, the chapel, the priest, the music at the service. There's my daughter's wedding gown, which, of course, there's invitations. There's so much behind the scenes of a wedding. Weddings are very expensive today, and a lot more different than when I had my wedding. And so
I just see the frustration. I can feel how frustrated you're feeling.
My husband and I put together, we don't know the couple. We don't know the husband and wife. We went to dinner with them one time.
Right.
And that was our first meet. That was last year. And we paid for the dinner, my husband and I. And he didn't even grab his wallet. So we paid for that dinner, and it's almost like
kind of same thing going on now.
Same thing, and that's fine. But I reached out, my husband and I, for 2 hours last night, sat there and wrote a text, a real long text, giving her the update of things and such. And basically, the response was very short and sweet, and that they will be paying for the rehearsal dinner.
Okay. So
I
what I heard
ordering
you
lobster
saying,
and such at that rehearsal.
You're fine paying for the venue, you're fine paying for the wedding dress, but how about all these other things?
The other things, I just think, I know that my mother-in-law, she paid for our band, and she paid for my living room set, which, that's fine. And her husband had died. My dad passed away 2 months before my wedding, and my husband and I, we paid, and my mom paid. Everybody chipped in. Everyone chipped in. And it's not like they don't have it, because they do have it. He's commercial real estate. He owns his own business. And it's I know they have it. And I'm not asking for them to pay for the venue.
Right.
I know that. But, can you just, maybe, pay for like something other than a dinner for 12 people, basically a dinner for.
And I think that's a question that, posed in the right way, sounds like a good alternative response that that's like the next step here.
Well, we Googled if it's the right thing to do, to reach out, and it's kind of not. It's like they should come forth and offer, and I reached out, and
Hoping that they would come forth.
several times I
Yeah.
have laid it on a text, and like I said, it took us like 2 hours to write this text. I reached out so much, like very thoughtful in this text. Like there's not like it's blatantly obvious,
Right.
and
But they're skirting
yeah,
their
they're
responsibilities.
ignorance is bliss for them right
Yeah.
now. So I had to contact my daughter this morning, and she feels. I did not tell her that I reached
No.
out to his family, but had to reach out to her, and she has to. Her and her fiance are gonna have to start paying for things.
Part.
My husband is we're probably gonna have to go into our 401k, and
How do you
It
feel
ha-
about that?
well,
Potentially
because we
going
had to pay that back. I have a lot. I mean,
Do you think that's a good alternative to tap into your 401k?
I don't know what else to do. And it's been talked about that, like, my son's in his last year of college. I got to get him through.
You have other responsibilities, yeah.
So I was also said that maybe I should only take one class next semester.
So you might have to sacrifice a semester.
Yes.
These aren't sounding like good alternatives, Amy.
Huh.
Maybe there could be a better way. So it sounds like you're getting upset.
Yeah.
It sounds like the worst case scenario is going on right now. If you could think in your head, how would you like this to turn out? How would you like, in an ideal, what would happen? Would they get it? Would they offer, hey, we realize you guys are doing so much. What can we do?
I think it would be nice if they offered,
Yeah,
but they're not going
it doesn't seem like that's
No.
going to happen because it hasn't happened yet.
to. No, and I really don't want to take out a loan.
I don't think you should have
So,
to.
yeah.
Would you, I'm looking at a DTR thought record. So you told me the situation and I can see how upsetting it is for you if you want to take a moment. A way to also work through this is if you could just tell me some of your automatic thoughts that are surrounding this.
I think they're playing the ignorant card.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's to their advantage. My long term, they're going to be my daughter's in-laws. I might have to, one day, we're going to share grandchildren.
Grandkids, yeah.
I'm going to probably have to see them on holidays. I can't believe how ignorant these people have been and cold, because I've done everything in my power to try to be nice, and it seems like they're not getting it. They're just like, I don't understand. Like, how can you sit back and be that ignorant? That, like, it's not like 1800s, And my daughter, she her and her fiance, they're willing to pay for things, and so a dinner for 12 people is not sufficient.
And I'm looking at this
So
objectively, and I don't think it's
My
fair.
automatic thoughts are, they're ignorant.
Ignorant. And if you had to rate that on a scale of 0 to 100, how ignorant?
They're
You feel
pretty.
they are?
They're pretty ignorant. I would say they're playing the card of ignorance. Sometimes it's best to play that card, but at the end of the day, when our kids get married and the gifts are given at the wedding, it's split between them, both of them, and I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
That day is going to be all about them. And the venue, like I'm willing to pay for the venue, and that changes per person, but the flowers and all that,
The band.
like all
yeah.
that stuff, that's one set price, no matter if you have 10 people or 300 people. So it's not a matter of per price per person. Just like step up to the plate.
Would you think it would be fair if they were willing to split the other things besides the venue and the dress? Like if they said, hey,
Well, I'll buy my daughter's dress.
but if they were willing to split,
I think that they should split. Like I think they should pipe up and get off the ignorant card, which I have a lot of. You gave me this paper of
Yeah.
labeling and mislabeling. I have an extreme form of overgeneralization, and I really have a negative label of them, and not of me,
that they're ignorant,
but of them.
that they're playing stupid.
They're playing stupid. There's
And
a
that
whole
it's
lot
work-
of
it's working
negativity
for them.
swirling around about this. People.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to work
The plan here.
my plan. Sorry.
Are there any alternative responses besides what you've tried so far? So you said you and your husband, got this email. You worked hard on it so
This
that it
just
was
happened, so it's fresh. The
it's
wound is.
fresh. Yeah, and the response isn't what you. were
No, my husband's
wanting.
probably like he works 6 days a week already, and his job's not doing real well right now. So,
Would you be willing to be, and I know you said Google, said it's not the right protocol to
he
be direct.
Googled this morning.
How
He
accurate is
Googled it.
Google?
He's like, what to do if brides, doesn't come to the place? Is it?
And did it actually pop up
They
right
said
away?
it is not right to ask. You can't ask.
Okay, you can't ask.
That's what Google said.
So you can't say like, all right, guys, we need you to pay half of this, and this.
Just take like the flowers. Just.
What about, hey,
can you like?
what are you guys willing to do?
It said Google said you shouldn't do that.
Because they said they're willing to do the 12-person meal, but on the whole scheme of things,
Now I'm
that's
gonna have
kind of a
lobster
drop
that-
in the bucket.
I'm gonna have lobster that night.
You're gonna have lobster.
Lobster. I don't even like lobster.
But it's expensive, right? So you're feeling. Are you feeling resentful? You're resenting
Yeah.
them?
My emotions are high. I resent them for putting
The burden.
my mental filler is like the wedding is like blackened because, and I'm trying not to. I'm trying
Because it's supposed to be a joyous occasion.
Yeah, but like, how is it joyous when I'm like looking into my 401 and like I won't be able to like, I think I'm like.
I don't know. It's
School
the
is
financial burden.
It's my son's school,
Mm-hmm.
my daughter's wedding, my other daughter's school. I mean, mom's school is kind of like, I hate to say this, but parents are always the last on the list
Sacrifice.
of things,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna have to start sacrificing.
But does this seem fair?
No,
It's not fair.
no, and it's not like they don't have it.
Right, and that would be a good point, right? That would be relevant. All
Yeah.
right, they don't have it to give. But if they do have it to give, then why aren't they willing to help? This is their son marrying your daughter.
Exactly.
So it should be a more even venture.
If I have to go into my 401, I want them to go in theirs.
We gotta work on that because to me, going into your if out of the financial responsibility, percentage-wise, how much do you think you and your husband are doing compared to them?
99.9.
And
No, I should say 98 because my daughter and her fiance. No, 95, because my daughter and her fiance said that they would pick up a bill. Two
Well,
bills.
any way
They're-
you look at that, does that sound fair?
No.
95%?
They're not even in
1 to
the, in the
2%?
same.
So, what are your emotions surrounding this right now?
Sad.
Sad. Any other emotion? Is there any anger there?
Oh, I'm very angry.
Yeah. So angry and sad.
Oh, I could probably, if they were like in front of me, I'd probably lose it.
And you got to go to a wedding and see these people, and you got.
Oh, I'm gonna be so happy that day because, well, it's for my daughter that day.
Yeah.
So,
But this just seems like it's taking a toll, not just a financial toll, but an emotional toll.
yes, correct.
And we got to figure out
Because this is
an
starting to come into
amicable way.
my world.
Yeah. And is there any alternatives that you can see besides the 401k and you taking on more of the financial responsibility? What alternatives could there be as far as trying to relate to them that
Well,
you've reached your threshold?
I think like I've already, I'm gonna have to come clean and say, you're gonna have to either pipe up or it's not gonna happen. Like, you can't expect us to take all this financial burden because
I
at
think
the end of
that's
the day,
good.
it's both of our kids.
Exactly.
It's not just, I shouldn't be penalized because I had a daughter.
No, and you're willing to do the venue solely and the dress.
Yes.
But
And my
everything else
daughter's
is a
not-
joint venture.
Right. They're trying to save and pay off their student loans. And I feel so bad because, you know, I basically told my daughter that she's going to have to start paying. And I feel bad because I know that they're really trying to pay off their student loans before they get married. So
They're
that
just
they don't
starting
have,
out in the world.
yeah, they're just starting out. I mean,
So it sounds like, and I liked your last alternative, that you're just going to have to come out with it and say, look, we've reached our financial threshold. We can't handle all of the financial burden. We're more than willing to pay for the venue. We're more than willing to pay for our daughter's dress. But these other aspects,
yeah.
we would appreciate if you would
Then
be
if they
willing.
say no, what do I do then?
That would be the worst case
That's the
scenario,
case.
right?
Yeah.
That they would say no. But then at least you would know.
Yeah.
You gotta
That's
still, I
true.
think you still gotta do the risk. What if they do say no?
Did the rest and I got like, oh, she basically texted and said, great, we'll be there with an emoji. I mean,
It sounds like avoidance of
oh, just ignorant.
the seriousness of what's going on here.
Yeah.
Because,
Like, I shouldn't have to tell her my personal finances.
right.
And I feel like I'm going to have to, and that's personal. If somebody has $100 and somebody has 10, why do I have to, like why? It's, like, can we just be, like, see that this wedding, I spelled it out for her. I'm going to have to
do you
start
think maybe
selling
it was
stuff.
a little indirect for them? They seem like they need a more
They're
direct.
ignorant
They
people.
need a more direct approach.
We went out to dinner with them last year, and they didn't even reach for the check. And
So
we
did
had
you
to
all-
pay for the whole dinner.
They didn't offer to even pay
Not even
a
the
part,
tip. Not even the tip.
and this is reflecting over now to the wedding.
Yes.
They're only willing to do a marginal
Yes.
part of it. So,
Told ya.
would you want to do a role
I
play as
very-
far as what is this more like coming out with it?
Sure.
What role would you be more comfortable playing? The role of yourself or the role of the
Why?
fiance's
It's hard for me to
parents?
play ignorant.
All right, would you like me to play ignorant and you?
Okay.
All right, let's do a little role play.
Okay.
So would this be via text or would this be
get ready.
okay?
Sorry,
I'm,
Dr.
I'm
Mac.
hoping that this is going to help.
This is feeling like a real one.
A little test run.
Okay. What do you want?
I want you to give me a little bit more of a direct
You know,
approach here. I want
Ruth,
you to
I just
tell me
wanna
like it is.
Ruth, I want to let you know. At the end of the day, our kids, you know, they're starting out, they're young, and I really would appreciate it if you kind of like would step up to the plate.
Oh yeah, we're more than willing to pay for the dinner, and
Yes,
we're
see-
so happy about the occasion. We're really looking forward to it.
See, that's not good enough, Ruth. See, because the dinner isn't nearly as doesn't even come close to how much the photographer is, Ruth.
Oh really? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, the photographer is about triple the amount of what a dinner would be.
Oh, well, yeah, you need to tell me this. So,
Well, I kind of tried to tell you. I guess not the way I should, but I don't know what else to say. I mean, I have a son who's still in college and trying to get him through.
right,
I go to school myself.
right.
I might have to like kind of tack on a few semesters because I'm trying to get like deposits.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear all this. Maybe we could come up with a plan. Maybe you could give me like a breakdown of the prices for things such as the photographer and the flowers, and we could possibly plan on.
I understand that your weddings in Lancaster, your family has gotten married at the same location for the last like,
Oh, generation after,
Mhm.
yeah.
and it's paper cups and paper plates.
That's
and
how
such.
we do it.
And that sounds fun and all. And that's great that it probably only costs like $3,000.
Oh yeah, we cook most of our food. You know.
I know it's a potluck dinner. Well, that's not how this wedding is. And I understand that, you know, you may have never experienced a Center City wedding before.
No, I mean I might have attended one, but yeah, not as far as like
Yeah.
anyone in my family.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to come up to with a better plan because
I'm gonna have to talk to my husband about
you talk to
this.
him. You talk to him.
And I really appreciate that you reaching out to me. I didn't realize that that you were feeling this way, because you know we're more than willing to help.
It seems in your texts that you constantly said like, hey, you know, just let us know. When I did, you skirted around it, and then ended with the hey, we'll be there, and a smiley face emoji.
Yeah, because we're just so happy about this joyous occasion and coming together as, you know, two families coming together, and we're really excited and looking forward to it.
Yeah, maybe we can come to a better alternative.
It sounds like we're going to have to do that, and it sounds like me and my husband are going to have to talk about chipping in a little more. But does that sound fair? That we need to do that? I think I'm getting it. I think I'm hearing
hope-
what you're saying.
I hope I'm not fortune telling, and I'm starting to feel like you're not gonna get it.
Oh no! I get it. I get it.
All right.
You're telling me that, you know, we need to help out to pay it for,
You need to help out.
besides just the dinner,
You need to help out.
the 12-person dinner.
The 12-person dinner.
All right, Amy. So I'm going to talk to my husband, and I'm going to get back to you within the next 24 hours, and we're going to come up with the game plan, okay?
Sure.
I don't want you to feel distressed.
Are you sure? Because I
I-
kind of felt like you know it with my texts.
I didn't. I honestly, I just thought you were giving me a breakdown of
No,
the
no.
itinerary. I didn't know it. You meant, oh, this is the financial. Like, I didn't see any prices. I didn't see like, okay, this is going
You
to
can
cost.
Google the
this.
places and you'd see the prices. If you Googled that's why
We're so unaccustomed to this type of. You know, we
you
don't.
don't
know this.
Google.
I rarely go on the computer. Believe it or not, live on a farm.
Okay. Well,
So, Amy, I don't want you to feel this way.
Okay.
We'll work this out.
Good.
All right?
Okay.
Trust me. Okay? I'm not trying to play like I don't know what's going on. I guess I did need it to be spelled out a little more, and I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
But you shouldn't have to feel this way. And you shouldn't have to go in your 401k and be strapped and not be able to.
I'm lucky I have it. I understand, but in the end,
Well, you know, my husband, he's
I
a
don't have a whole
successful
lot of-
realtor. He's a successful realtor.
that's the thing.
You know,
See, because
his own boss.
He's his own boss, and he's a commercial real estate agent. So I feel like you live in the same house that you've lived in for generations.
Yeah,
no
we don't pay a
offense,
mortgage.
You don't pay a more. I mean,
You're right.
your expenses aren't nearly as much as mine.
I think I'm hearing what you're saying.
Thank you.
And we're going to get on the same page. Okay?
Okay. Sounds good.
Thanks for calling. And I'm going to get back to you and we're going to work this out, okay?
Okay.
Do you feel a little bit better, Amy?
A little bit.
All right. All right. How do you feel about that, Amy? The role play there.
I hope and wish that it's going to happen like that.
So it started out, I was playing the I don't know what's going on card. I'm
Right.
just, clueless.
Right.
But then I started getting the point.
Yeah, I hope she gets the point. But
Yeah. And you could only try, right?
It's funny, my husband said this morning, and I've known him for almost 30 years, he used the word pessimistic for the first time ever in his life. He says, I feel very pessimistic at this situation. I really don't think that they're...
You've reached your limit.
And when I heard that, I was like,
If my husband's feeling this
because
way, yeah.
I've never heard him feel like that before. Makes me sad.
And you shouldn't be feeling like this. This is not,
No.
it's not fair.
No.
It's not. And unfortunately, some people, you do gotta be, I don't care what Google says. Sometimes, some people do need the more direct approach. Either they are playing the dumb, realistically that could be it. Or they're just not as knowledgeable.
So the worst case scenario, what if she says no?
What is that gonna look like? What is that gonna feel like? Are you gonna be willing to accept that they're not willing to
Well,
chip in anymore?
I can't change the situation.
Right, you can't make someone do something they're not willing to do.
No. No.
That would be the worst case scenario, and how do you think you would cope with that? Because that potentially could happen.
Well, I guess that's what we were looking at last night when we were going over everything. The worst case scenario of them saying no
Is the 401k
and my school.
that's a lot of sacrifice.
And yeah. And I don't talk about it much, but my daughter worked very hard, and she got into a program at University of Penn. Only 10 people were accepted out of 700. She's starting her life. At the end, it's kind of funny, she'll be Dr. so-and-so, but she'll always be my Jessica.
Wow.
And it's she worked so hard to get where she is. Even now. And I felt terrible this morning when I had to come clean and tell her that she's going to have to start paying for some stuff.
And what was her response to that?
Absolutely.
Oh, well, see,
See that?
you raised a good girl.
I think it's, yeah.
And that's an awesome opportunity that she has. It sounds like she has a very bright future, and that he's lucky to be marrying her.
No, they should be lucky.
Yeah.
Their son's marrying my daughter, but
And you worked hard for where you're at too, though, and you deserve recognition for that. You
Yeah.
shouldn't have to put on the back burner your goals and your dreams. They still count.
my kids come first.
They do, and I know that as a parent, I agree. But there's a limit.
Yeah.
there is a limit. And when you're feeling like this up to here,
Yeah,
everything in your body is saying this is wrong, this is not right.
that is true.
You know, and as an outsider looking in, I tend to agree. Like, wait a minute, paying for a 12-meal dinner for a whole complete wedding is not doing your part.
No.
It's not doing your part.
No.
And unfortunately, they're not offering.
No.
They're not.
I've written so many long texts. I know I probably have to get on the phone. But
Some people need it spelled out.
yep.
And the worst case scenario could happen. But then let's look at the best case scenario. What would that look like? You put it out there.
She pays for the band, and they pay for the photographer, and they pay for the videographer. My daughter won't have to pay for her and her fiance. They pick up more than just 12 person dinner.
Well, yeah, and I agree.
Don't get me wrong, I already know that I was going in for the venue, but everything else is just like, oh wow.
That shouldn't be your sole responsibility. I mean, their
No.
son's getting married too.
And at the end of the day, their son and my daughter walk away with the gifts,
Yeah.
and they divide them equally. So, times have changed.
Another question I was curious to see was, say a friend of yours was in the same exact situation as you. What do you think you would tell them? What would be your advice?
Probably what you just said.
But to put it out there.
Put it
to
out
be a
there,
little
and
bit
you
more
have to
direct.
be more open and direct.
Mm-hmm.
That not everyone can kind of read through a text the same way.
That's true too. They might generally be misinterpreting.
I don't think so, especially since we paid for their dinner when the bill was sat in the middle.
So yeah, you're going from past.
Sorry,
You are
but
looking at past
now
experience.
jumping.
Yeah, is that jumping to the Do you feel like you're catastrophizing? Like you're.
I've been trying to hold it together.
Yeah.
I think that the volcano just started to erupt when I'm receiving emojis and smiley faces of her saying, "Yeah, we'll be there."
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice to feel that light and no responsibility really? So, we talked about, are they in the position to help out more? Yes.
Yes.
Sounds like they definitely are. So there really is no good reason why they can't help more.
No,
Do you agree with that?
I
I
agree.
mean, I think you feel strongly about
I
that.
agree that there is no reason that this couple cannot help with their son's wedding.
And I have to agree with you. Are you willing to put this into action? You
By
and your
calling them?
husband work
We
out,
put it into action last night and it fell through.
and it wasn't successful.
I-
So the text didn't work. I do agree. I think a phone call might be better because they can't claim to misinterpret that, right?
Yes.
And you maybe could rehearse it a little bit with your husband, like, here's what I'm going to say, and if she says this is my counter, and he can be there sitting next to you as a support system, but this is something you need to do.
Agreed.
Yeah. Does it sound like a game plan?
Agreed. This is something I need to do.
And I think, I think at least we could get, it might not be the best case scenario, but I don't think it'll be the worst either. I think, I have to have some belief that they're going to say, oh, we can chip in more, we can help more than just the 12
I hope they
person
do.
meal.
But
we're getting what you're saying.
Try not to use the but.
And just like how we rehearsed, it might start out with her just kind of skirting it around
I don't
the
feel
issue.
like I need to explain the things that I might have to give up.
You're hoping you don't have to go to
Because
that.
that's like personal.
It is personal. And you don't want to have to say, like,
Shouldn't
look,
have to
I'm
say.
struggling here and I'm
Yeah.
worrying, fretting that I'm going to have to tap
Sell
into.
kidney.
Yeah.
Sell my youngest kid. Kind of like her. I'm 15 years into her. It will work out.
So how do you feel now after we talked about this? Because I know you're really
I feel like
emotional.
better because I know it's not. I know I'm making sense.
This is legitimate. Yeah.
This is legit. Like, I know I'm making sense.
Right.
Like, this is like, I don't understand.
You tried reaching out.
I reached out like several times to this woman.
So now you have to take the next step. The
And it's
phone
like,
call.
I don't understand. But like, deposits are due,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And school tuition's gonna be due. And I'm like,
So this, you need to act on this pretty quickly because, like you said, time is of the essence.
mm-hmm.
And maybe you need to even vocalize that, like it's.
Like,
We're-
come on now.
I know the wedding's in. I think you told me
2019,
November,
I get it, but like these people, like one deposit
these
was
things are
due
due.
like July 10th.
And you need to
and
know
I'm like-
now because you need to know whether
The other
you can go to your
deposits are
semester.
July 19th, and I'm like, holy crap!
So they're around the corner.
Yeah. Credit card.
Yeah, charging, but still.
I
You
wanna-
know that.
Why should I go into Hawk? Like, why?
I don't think it should come to that, do you?
No.
That doesn't sound fair. It
No.
doesn't sound
And
reasonable.
anyone who has daughters, I shouldn't.
I know you'd be
shouldn't
willing to do
penalized.
it if it came down to it, but
Yeah.
it's
Definitely
not fair.
different when my son gets married. I am not gonna, the positive of this situation for him will be his future bride and their family. I am not gonna be these people. So I will step up to the plate.
Good.
Just hope it's not next year.
Yeah, you need some time to recover.
Yes.
But that's good. Like you wouldn't do this
Trying
to
to find
someone
the
else.
No, so the
You
positive.
feel like this is cruel.
This is cruel. This is actually very cruel, Tanya. Yes, because it should not come to this point for such a happy occasion.
And I agree.
So
I
I'm
agree.
trying to find the positive in this is that I'm saving another bride's parents, which would be my son's parents, in-laws. That
Because you'd be willing to offer
right,
the help. You wouldn't have to have it
right.
be squeezed out of you.
Yeah. Another positive is my youngest daughter has heard all this through the house last night. And she's already come to me and said, this will not happen with my future husband because whoever I date, I'm going to stipulate on our first date. I just want to let you know if it goes any further, your parents have to pipe up to the bill. So it's actually two positives, I suppose.
Well, I'm glad that you're laughing a little bit because sometimes we need to laugh when we feel like crying because, you know,
It takes a lot to make me cry.
it's taken a toll,
Yes.
an emotional, like I said, it's not just a financial toll, it's an emotional
Yep.
toll, and it's,
Ignorance is bliss sometimes, but not in this case.
right, because you're
Because
not
you're
going to
hurting
have it.
somebody.
Don't let them have ignorant as bliss.
Right.
You're going to call them on it,
I'm gonna,
literally and figuratively.
I'm gonna
Call
I
them
tried to
on
call.
it.
I tried to call them on it one way,
But this time you're going to
gonna
call
have
them on
to.
it. And that way, when they try to skirt around it, you know, then you have no choice but to be a little bit more direct, despite what Google says.
It's pretty
You know.
funny. My husband's like, I googled it. Says we're not supposed to ask.
All right.
All right.
So what I'd like to ask you to do is you're going to put this in action.
Yes.
Would you be willing to do one of these DTRs, thought records?
Yes.
And maybe we could
Feel like we just work.
tell me the outcome the
Okay.
next time I see you,
Sure.
and we'll see how your emotions are. So, because right now you're feeling sad and angry.
Yeah, it's like a whole lot of stuff going on. Sad, angry, anxious, whatever. Yeah.
So at least you're gonna get some kind of resolution. You are after you make this phone call, whether or not it's the best or the worst case scenario or in between. At least you're gonna know. You're not gonna have to guess, and they're
Yeah,
gonna
it's the
have
guessing
to.
game. I think that's really like it's like us like. I guess we're just like jumping to conclusions.
And you're waiting for them to offer, and
I
it's
am.
not happening.
Keep looking at my phone, thinking they're gonna offer.
So you gotta take it up a notch now.
I'm taking it up.
All
I'll
right,
take it
good-
up.
Good to hear.
I'm gonna have to calm it down, but I'll take it up.
Good to hear. Good. Be strong. You can do it.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to see you next week, okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Tanya.
Yep.
Sorry, Dr. Mack. Good luck with your daughters.